collectivism, socialism, Marxism, anti-freedom. This is borderline JQing. Like, I'm not surprised they didn't want to put postmodern neo-Marxism or Frankfurt School in here. So a good friend of mine, who's also one of my chat moderators, Gnarlis, he came across an ad for this shit called the Tuttle twins, and he sent me a message telling me that they've got some cursed fucking takes on whatever the fuck the word communism means to them. So of course, I decided we're gonna react to this shit on my stream tonight. So be prepared to see some fucking like.
Hey parents, kids like us have a.
This shit's like actually pretty disgusting though. So yeah, here's the Tuttle twins. Just opens right up with, this is basically PragerU for like, I know that they're already trying to get into like making stuff for kids, but this is literally like budget PragerU for kids. It's so ridiculous and pathetic. Are your kids being brainwashed? Our children's books help you teach your kids how the world really works. Holy fucking shit. Just right off the bat, they're obviously trying to appeal to the people who freak out this bad about their kids being like brainwashed by schools and like the leftist and liberal media and shit like that. They're always projecting. What they really want to do is they just want to brainwash their kids themselves. They don't have any desire for their kids to develop any sense of critical thinking. And I'm sure that this... Here's literally a video of, like, the author's two fucking children. Let's watch this cursed garbage. They're gonna start a third Red Scare Divine Tragedy? They already have. Yeah, this is the third Red Scare. And I mean, the second Red Scare never really fucking ended. It just calmed down a little bit. Now that they actually, like, the fucking conservatives and, you know, the general cast of our society that holds the fucking power, the bourgeois, the class that owns all the fucking capital, they're going to start red scaring again now that they can tell, like, especially with COVID-19 and whatnot. This is going, and climate change. This is all going to be stuff that brings about massive amounts of social change. They're going to cling to power by telling people that, you know, like fucking communists are brainwashing, your sister brainwashed herself into thinking that Biden, every Democrat, is a cannibal. Oh my god, that's really sad. I'm sorry, comrade. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the blood-sucking capitalist fucking vampire people they always red scare anytime that there's any sign that there could be something setting the stage for massive societal change that could threaten their hold on things. But let's see.
Hey parents, kids like us have a problem, and it's one that you can help solve.
But most parents aren't even aware the problem exists.
Here's the issue. Most schools today aren't teaching young kids some really important concepts, like how the economy works or...
This is really fucking gross. This is literally just like douchebag who has bought into a cult of nation and personality, exploiting his goddamn children for a fucking buck by telling people that because their kids aren't being brainwashed into the same, aren't like being like forcibly indoctrinated into the same fucking cult of nation and personality that he has, which is conservative bullshit, that somehow they're being brainwashed. But as I previously mentioned, the people who are the parents of these kids who wrote this fucking script for them and sat them down in front of this camera to do this shit. They want to be the ones doing the fucking brainwashing. They do not give a shit about kids actually getting a good education.
What our rights are or the definition of true laws.
Back before you were born, schools often taught the principles of a free society.
But not anymore. That's why our parents have us read
The
Tuttle Twins. These books teach children about economic and civic truths that we need to learn, and there's nothing else like them in the world.
Each book covers a different topic, helping us learn how the world really works.
For example, these books teach kids things like how the free market is the key to prosperity, the history of the money we use,
all watered down to the point where it could be like horrendously fucking twisted to just straight up do the brainwashing that we're accusing other people of doing.
what our rights are and why we should protect them, how kids can be...
What fucking school? In fact, it's the school systems that are dominated by conservatives that will try to twist the concept of freedom of speech and whatnot into being shit like freedom of speech means you gotta be integrated with and freedom of religion means you gotta be integrated into our white boy Christian society. If you're a Muslim, you need to go back to the desert or some other fucked up shit like that. Jesus Christ, it's this is so canned. Nothing's wrong with teaching kids about human rights. There is something wrong with brainwashing kids with actual bullshit about why capitalism is the greatest thing since the greatest thing since the fucking printing press. And that's what this is doing.
Entrepreneurs.
I definitely want to be my own boss someday, and these books will help.
Kids like us
Hey kid, have your parents ever told you about worker co-ops where there is no boss? Well, that's not all worker co-ops. I know that there's worker co-ops that are oftentimes larger worker-owned co-ops will have an elected management structure where all the workers who collectively fucking own the thing democratically vote on the people to hold management positions. And then this one's more common among smaller firms. There's the co-ops where there is no top-down management structure at all, whether or not people are elected to the positions that it would be. Instead, it's all the management decisions are just made democratically by the employees. Well, it's employee owners at that point.
absolutely...
But yes, divine tragedy. Capitalism is also the concept of human rights becomes meaningless in the name of the almighty dollar, and capitalism outright encourages that. Of course, that's going to be left out of these things. The search for Atlas, what the fuck is that going to be?
love these books. Maybe because they don't treat us like little children. Instead, they help us learn important ideas and develop critical thinking skills.
Chances are your kids are missing out on learning
This
these
is
things,
bad.
especially in a way that's fun and enjoyable for the whole family.
And even better, when you buy this set, you also get the awesome activity workbooks for free.
Now listen, there are a lot of crazy
This is
ideas out there.
giving me a
and these are
fucking
very
stroke.
Yeah, if you want to raise a free thinker, you're gonna need something that teaches about freedom.
So purchase your books now.
But be careful, your kids will learn ideas that many adults don't even understand.
It makes for some really interesting dinner conversations. Those kids are cute, but I bet yours are cuter.
And imagine how much they'll enjoy the books. So what are you waiting for? Click the link and grab your set.
Say, of course, Yeah, I'm not, like, outright opposed to teaching about capitalism. What I'm opposed to is what a lot of schools what a lot of school systems and what a lot of parents who homeschool their children are very guilty of are very, very guilty of in the United States. Yeah, so KJ, I'm not like absolutely opposed to teaching about, where the fuck was I going? I'm not opposed to teaching about capitalism. Like, I don't think educational, like, curricula should pretend that it doesn't exist. But what many school system, like pretty much all school systems, and then especially a lot of, like, conservative parents who homeschool their children are guilty of, is they treat it like it's a fucking, like, it's literally, like, the hand of God, like, like, it's literally the hand of God that, like, automatically makes everybody's lives better. Because, they live this, like, fucking awesome life of being white suburbanites living somewhere in the fucking South with palm trees everywhere in this, whatever the fuck this place is. Even more so, they were, like, in that video. Yeah, exactly. Divine Tragedy. That video was really, like, that was 2 minutes of my life of our lives that we're never gonna get back. Having young children, having like annoying douchebags who are probably, like, not much older than I am. I'm 26. Tell me vicariously through a script they're having their children read that I don't understand a goddamn thing because of liberal media brainwashing. And they go through the whole 9 fucking yards here. They have this whole, dear parent, if you're like me, you're worried about the new normal society is trying to cram down our throats. I know a guy who knows a guy who said he knows I don't care. I'm sorry. In the wake of COVID-19, the government has asserted its power, printed a ton of new money, and restricted our rights. Our kids have had to adjust too, and many of us struggle to know how to help them understand what's happening in the world. Yeah, I got my own issues with the media too. It's just all of the shit that conservatives claim about the leftist media is a big fucking lie. Because CNN and MSNBC are not, CNN and NBC and fucking CBS News and shit, none of that is fucking leftist. And these people, like, actively claim it's, like, postmodern neo-Marxism. In the wake of COVID-19, the government has asserted its power, printed a ton of new money, and restricted our rights. Printed a ton of new money is something that's honestly relatively meaningless in the modern economy because of how, like, pretty much all currency is fiat. Although it ultimately ends up kind of being... There is the whole problem with the petrodollar, how, like, essentially these fiat currencies end up trying to like back their values with fucking oil de facto. And restricted our rights. So that makes it clear right off the bat that they're going to downplay the COVID-19 pandemic, and this is the typical conservative whining about the try and be. I kind of thought I was kind of like I'm sorry, Victor Von Champ. I was kind of like after I like read the thing, I was like trying to. I was starting to, like, get the vibe that, oh, wait, he might have been fucking he might have just been dicking around. But, I've, like, had enough people that actually, like, unironically try to tell me that shit and actually be like, and this is why I'm gonna tell everybody to not get the vaccine and eat ivermectin. I Poe's law. That's what I gotta sum it up to. I don't know how to tell what is a fucking joke anymore. It's really bad. Yeah, Divine Tragedy, that's an accurate summation. Yeah, this is what we're taught ultimately in history class. 1776, America was born, and then we get taught about, like, the Pilgrims and Jamestown and shit in the 1600s. 1861 to 1865, America fought to free the slaves, or if you're in certain places, the War of Northern Aggression happened, and the Southern cause was noble, which is fucking ridiculous. 1918, yeah, we went to Europe to defeat the Germans. 40s, we went back to Germany to defeat the evil Germans again. Present day utopia, we, like, live. Yeah, I know. I'm not talking about teachers. I'm talking about curricula. I'm talking about curricula teachers are expected to teach, and sadly, a lot of teachers are, like, willing to teach because they just want to do the brainwashing themselves, especially in very conservative areas. But yeah, I know that there's plenty of teachers that, like, resist this shit and try to, like, actually try to, and there's plenty of teachers who try to resist these problems and actively try to, you know, like, give the real, like, not just America the good guy perspective. I mean, I keep reading through this. Our kids have had to adjust to, and many of us struggle to know how to help them understand what's happening in the world. To make matters worse, the public school system, the mainstream media, you know, except Fox News and Newsmax and One America News, the true patriots, and the entertainment industry aren't helping. They're openly pushing socialism and wokeism into the minds of our kids every day. Every time I hear somebody unironically say the word wokeism, I want to have a fucking stroke. Why I'm doing the fucking Morshoe again. Why do I keep doing that? Just recently, an elementary school in my community plastered the wall with the ABCs of socialist activism, teaching kids terms such as W is for woke, S is for social justice, and A is for activist. Yeah, I really wonder, why is it that these conservative people think that advocating for like the actual like fucking application of equal rights and the acknowledgement of the fact that systemic racism even fucking exists, why do they think that's like a if they always claim to be about like equal rights and freedom, but then they claim that actually trying to acknowledge problems that inhibit people's ability to just exist for factors that they cannot control, they act like this is they call it fucking communist. Oh yeah, that's right. It's because they don't actually believe in they don't actually really believe in true freedom for people. They believe in the freedom they believe in the freedom to win at social Darwinism, basically. These radical messages work their way into school curriculum, movies, advertising, and social media platforms to persuade our impressionable children. Oh, okay. This guy, he's like really coming right out of the gate that he has no desire for his children to think for themselves. Why am I trying to make sense of chuds? Cannibalistic humanoid underground values. Well, I don't know. I will never answer that. I guess I have fun masochistically trying to like understand the mental gymnastics these people do. Parents like you struggle to find educational material that doesn't lie about our nation's history or teach that the government is the solution to our problems. What the fuck are they talking about? Yeah, reactionaries don't believe in anything, and it isn't in the fucking, and it isn't, like, not in, like, the cool, like, somewhat, like, nihilistic, but not, like, nihilistic to excuse being a scumbag sense of the word. Like, for example, when it comes to my, like, thoughts as to why we exist and whatnot, and existentialism, I tend to have pretty nihilist opinions about that. I do not think that human beings exist for any particular reason, and that we are some, like, and that we are indeed some cosmic accident, essentially. Some ridiculous fucking coincidence in this, and on a meaningless blip in this endless fucking oblivion. But, that is not the, that is not, like, it disgusts me how people take that and are like, hey, since everything's inherently meaningless, I can just be a scumbag to people to make myself feel good and call it freedom. Enrich myself with the ruthless exploitation of people in less fucking nice situations than I am, and call it freedom. Personal freedom, entrepreneurship, the art of brutally exploiting labor to make yourself rich, individual rights, and more. Find yourself thinking. You'll find yourself asking, what exactly are my children learning at school? I'm sorry, I couldn't fucking help but try to be the corny bastard who is gonna see, like, you find yourself asking and then have to turn it into that fucking Walking Heads song. Even if you homeschool, you are always on the hunt for a new curriculum to make sure your children are being taught good principles and true ideas. Everything this says is about, like, just trying to create your own cult. What's critical is what we empower our children to understand these time-tested principles, family values, freedom-loving, but then lie about our country's hideous history with slavery and subjugation of the indigenous people that lived in the present-day United States prior to the arrival of European dickheads. And what's critical is that we empower our children to understand these time-tested principles so that they can recognize and reject the brainwashing they will be bombarded with in the world. Fortunately, parents like you don't have to do this alone. That's why we created the Tuttle twins book. And they're straight up, now they're going into, like, actual, like, fascist propaganda. Shield your kids with the Tuttle twins. Anti-family. Anti-freedom. Yeah. God. George Carlin could be a little ignorant about things sometimes because he was this, like, old fuck, but, I do miss that guy's comedy. And then, of course, Jimmy Dore dipshits have been trying to, like, be like, Jimmy Dore is the George Carlin of our generation, and it's just like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? George Carlin was actually kind of insightful, not just some raving fucking idiot. Collectivism! Socialism, Marxism, anti-freedom. This is borderline JQing. Like, I'm not surprised they didn't want to put postmodern neo-Marxism or Frankfurt School in here. This is the Tuttle twins are the only books that help children develop critical thinking skills about real-world concepts, sharing ideas with kids that most adults don't even know. Mother of God. Let's be honest, most children's books teach very basic ideas, if any at all. They're full of fluff and silly stories. And while these can be good to develop reading skills and phonetics, they typically don't teach children important ideas that they can apply in their life. Our books recognize that the world is full of companies, people, and politicians who want to expose your children to ideas you do not support. Yeah, the entire premise of this here is being a parent means you have every right to just brainwash your children and create a weird little cult around you being, like, the arbiter of what is good and bad. And then, like, and then they're doing that as, like, a servant of this creepy fucking cult of the nation and personalities associated with it that the fucking American conservative movement has created, because it's just become increasingly more fascist. Yeah, I'm like almost sorry I'm suggesting you get subjecting into this, chatters, because this is like sapping my fucking brain cells out really bad. What's up, Urist? going through we're going through a website that my mod Gnarlis showed me. The Tuttle twins. It's this series of children's books that you saw this year. Isn't it so fucking cringe? We watched this goddamn video that was 2 minutes and 14 seconds of my life that we're never ever gonna get, of our lives that we're never gonna get back, to be condescendingly told by children that we don't know shit. No, it's fine, Gnarlis. It's honestly some great fucking point fingers and laugh content. Just fuck, the brainworms are like really pervasive with this. With our books, your children will learn things like why a free market economy is the greatest way to lift people out of poverty and allow people to trade with one another. This is bullshit. This is demonstrable bullshit. Anytime you hear people rattle on about capitalism has lifted more people out of poverty than any other system ever, it's had a few people who get lucky. They've just simply removed the whole, like, you have to divinely inherit your right to fucking rule things over. You can rule your own little empire if you work hard enough, and by that we mean be an exploitive bastard. In reality, people people try to push this myth about capitalism lifting people out of poverty by using this ridiculous fucking, is it World Bank or IMF that comes up with the international poverty line of what is it, like $1.25 a day is what they consider absolute, like, extreme poverty. Here's the thing. That line is, that number is completely fucking meaningless, because what is extreme poverty in one place and what is extreme poverty somewhere else is completely fucking different, because of things like standard of living and whatnot. It's this arbitrary line that barely takes into effect, like, global variation in cost of living and whatnot. We watched a video on stream that fucking Gravel Institute put out a while ago, how the actual, when you do the math to really try to get a number that more accurately describes fucking what is, like, abject poverty, it's somewhere around 7%. It's $7 a day. And the number of people that, like, don't meet that threshold has actually increased, I'm pretty sure. Back to the brainwashing bullet points. How property rights allow us to decide what's best for us and make decisions for our family. Until you buy a property that turns out to have fucking natural gas under it and you don't have the mineral, even though you own the property, you don't have the mineral rights because of people like J. Paul Getty. Why the world is a better place because of entrepreneurs who create businesses to help serve us and improve our lives. What socialism is. I wonder what they think socialism is and why it's so destructive to our freedom and well-being. I guarantee you that the way they're using the term socialism is, well, objectively wrong. How the golden rule is so important to people getting along with one another, no matter where we live, what we look like, or what we believe. Huh, really? Because capitalism is literally about violating the golden rule. Do the richest men on earth treat people the way they want to be fucking treated? Why education is so important and why children should be allowed to learn things they are interested in. Then this person's gonna, I guarantee you one of these books is why we should cut gender studies and ethnic studies out of all colleges. What true laws are and why the government should protect our rights. And so much more. Oh my god. They're literally... Holy fuck, somebody's never heard of anarcho-syndicalism before. Yeah, these people These people are the type of people who sit around acting like the world's like greatest human beings are these ghoulish pieces of shit like J. Paul Getty, John D. Rockefeller, fucking like John D. Rockefeller was a fucking ghoul. J. Paul Getty almost makes him like look normal. J. Paul Getty was like for a time the world's richest human being. He was such a cheap piece of shit that he would like. Oh god, it was ridiculous. One time he took some friends to a dog show in London, and he like made them walk around the fucking block for 10 minutes. Until like the tickets went a half price at 5 p.m. because he didn't want to pay the full price per head. The full price per head was 5 fucking shillings, which really like is not even in like the fucking 40s and 50s was not that much money, especially if you were rich as balls. A shilling was basically a fucking old British nickel. And this bit about what true laws are and why the government should protect our rights. These are the same people, they scream about the government, like, the government's violating our rights. This is why the government should protect our lives. Our rights, instead of, this is the same type of shit where people, like, whine about fucking taxes, then, like, pay, like, a $700 a month health insurance bill, and are just like, oh, here you fucking go. Yeah, I don't understand being such like a ridiculous hoarder of money either. It's pure fucking greed. The J. Paul Getty was like so bad with it that he would compulsively reuse stationery. Like whenever he got like letters relating to business, he rather than use like a new sheet of paper to write a response, he would write the response like on the fucking back or in the margins. And then stuff it back in its envelope and, like, send it back. It was really ridiculous. Also, his grandson got kidnapped, and he, like, negotiated the ransom because he was a fucking cheapskate and didn't want to pay a ransom. Yeah. Oh, what was another ghoulish thing he did involving money? Oh, he, like, scolded his wife for, like, spending too much money on, like, treatment for their terminally ill son. Who had, like, leukemia or some shit. Yeah, of course, the books come with discussion questions at the end. Fuck, my brain is melted. And look, oh my god, it's literally just like, this is like such, the layout of this website is fugly as hell. This could have been split into like 6 different fucking pages instead of scroll down one like unreasonably wide, one like extremely wide but with like very narrow text, like just aesthetically ugly fucking bullshit. Yeah, so let's see what the books teach. What are individual rights? Oh, it's a fun adventure that involves pirates and plunder. Ethan and Emily learn about law, liberty, and limited government. Unlike any other book, this story helps children learn what individual rights are and how true laws help protect them from the bad guys. And they're acting like this is like education for like universally accepted truths. Why are free markets important? Emily and Ethan have taken for granted the many things they use, clothes, cars, homes. On their trip to an amazing factory, the twins learn about the miracle and importance of the free market. Yeah, modern like graphic design trends can get really cringe, but this is like especially bad. Should the collective control us? As the Tuttles uncover why the new serfdom resort is causing their favorite beach to lose public interest. I can't even imagine how fucking ridiculous this is. They sell them for $10 a pack. Or $10 a... I have cigarettes on my brain. These aren't cigarettes. These are novels. Yeah, dirty commie rat. I said that. No, stop it. No, we're not being condescended to by these fucking toddlers again. Well, we're not being condescended to by the toddlers. This asshole and his fucking wife are vicariously condescending to us through their children, which I think is fucking gross. People who, like, exploit their goddamn children, who, like, exploit young children to make money off of fear-mongering about fucking, like, Marxism and collectivism and shit. They're trying to push the idea that the Democrats are, like, secretly collectivist, and that's bullshit. Democrats sabotage, like, actual left-wing politics all the fucking time because it threatens neoliberal hegemony. Amanda says the Tuttle kids have given my kids a solid understanding of free markets and piqued their interest in things I wouldn't think they would have been able to understand or even be interested in learning. These books are now a central part of our curriculum. Sales of the Tuttle twins books are staggering. Then post the fucking numbers. Here's going to be the best part. The cost of not getting these books. There's a high cost to our society when these ideas aren't taught to children. Why? It's quite simple. Our kids become voters. Ignorant voters support laws that restrict our rights and hurt businesses. Even worse, they miss out on valuable principles that improve their life. Now watch me lobby for a bill that is going to make it so that if my daughter needs an abortion, in order to save her fucking life, she's just going to be left to die. In fact, they might even save her the fetus she's carrying before they save her by doing the abortion. These people are such fucking hypocrites. It's absolutely disgusting and absurd. The current political and economic climate is coming to a critical tipping point. Yes, it is, but you're literally lying about all the reasons why. And socialism's popularity on the rise, for good reason, because capitalism sucks. You need to educate your children about the ideas of freedom today, because people you strongly disagree with will be exposing them to all kinds of bad ideas in the day ahead. Over 3 million copies of the... Please, no. I hope that's a lie. Forget 5 and 11-year-olds. When I read these books to my kids, I learned all sorts of stuff nobody ever taught me. Now my kids and I have some awesome discussions together. Let me get this straight. These topics that nobody's ever taught you anything about before in any setting. Or probably did, and you just, like, slept through it, or you're conveniently lying about it. Because for your political agenda. Nobody ever taught you about any of this shit whatsoever. And you are forming your fucking opinions about these by uncritically consuming shit in a fucking children's book. Are you fucking kidding me? This is ridiculous. Holy fuck, are these real people? It's disturbing to me that these are real fucking people. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed what you just saw, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the bell as well. I get notifications whenever I upload things. If you like live broadcasts, come on over to my Twitch channel, and if you really like what you see, then go on over to my Patreon and become a patron. Both those links are in the description below. And I wish you a wonderful, wonderful day. Fuck. I can't speak right now. God damn it. Fuck. 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 Can't speak.